At number 10 we have Kasagatha, a giant ball of tentacles from a cosmic world too insane for our minds to understand. She is one of the oldest beings in the universe and is known for having a fierce temper. It's said that she can use her tentacles to reach out and pluck any living thing from its home and devour it in one bite. And if that wasn't enough to freak you out, I have a video that might be this queen of terror flying through Earth. Wow, that looked terrifying. If I ever saw something like that coming in a fog, I think I would just go back inside and watch Infinity War again. I'd be like, yeah, that's how I want to go out. I don't have any choice right now. I'm gonna die doing this. And of course, there's a good chance that this video is edited, but what's the fun in that? Let's believe together that there's a giant squid monster out there that would kill any of us in a moment and can make you drift into madness just from looking at it. That's cool. At number 9, we have Ganast. The Ganast are some of the smaller creations from the Lovecraftian universe. They have long, slim arms and legs, kind of like a Slender Man crossed between some sort of feral dude. They also have humanoid faces but lacking noses and ears. They have sharpened teeth and kangaroo-like legs with hooves for feet. Their bodies are hairless and their skin is pale white. They are about the same size as a man, and all these characteristics sound very similar to the extremely popular creepypasta, The Rake. There are so many similarities between these two monstrosities, and there is a ton of online reports of people seeing the Rake in real life or being attacked by this creature. So most of you are like, well, those are fake. But if even one of them is true, we might have a Nast running around trying to kill people, and it just has been named something else for a new generation. At number 8, we have the Deep Ones. Fish-like humanoids that look a lot like the King Zora from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. They will sometimes mate with humans who they find wandering by large bodies of water. But I can't imagine these creatures would be that sexy. In other words, you wouldn't want them to swim up to you and give you a nice fishy cold kiss unless you want to know what the ocean tastes like. Ugh. They live deep underwater and worship the fish god Dagon. With their fishy features and interest in mating with people, it sounds a lot like mermaids. Basically, they all do the same things, and mermaids have been sighted and reported throughout history. In the 17th century, Captain Richard Whitbourne reported seeing mermaids off the coast of Newfoundland. He said that they were beautiful and they would try to seduce him. Sounds a lot like the Deep Ones. All these underwater creatures are a horny bunch, that's for sure. At number 7, we have Dagon. Dagon? Correct me in the comments. This massive immortal fish who the Deep Ones pray to. He is their god, and due to his massive size and power, he has earned the right to be worshipped. He is an old great one. He belongs to the same family as the Lovecraft superstar Cthulhu. It is his destiny to mate with Mother Hydra. I assume to make a lot more crazy fish monsters that would take over the world. And we might have some footage of him for you. That footage was from a hurricane moving through Miami, and if I was a giant cosmic fish monster, I would say that a massive storm would be my main form of transportation. Also, that noise it makes is terrifying. Like most mythical creatures, there isn't a clear shot of it. Maybe they all have a hidden power to blur themselves out of any sort of footage. The good news is that if Dagon is real, he likes to be worshipped. So we can make some sort of deal with him. We pray to you, you don't kill humanity, everybody wins. At number 6, we have Mygos. These guys are trippy and have a lot going on. They look like some sort of crustacean that has reproduced with a fungus and then sprouted wasp wings. They are extremely intelligent and able to travel through the solar system and beyond with ease. They take humans from Earth and transport them to Pluto and remove their brains. They worship the old gods and once waged war on the elder things prior to humans walking the Earth. Their appearance being crossed between an insect and a fungus reminds me of something that still exists here on Earth. Let's have a look at this.
From this bulbous container, spores will be cast into the air current, where they will claim more ant victims. But it's not just ants. Many others are infected by the cordyceps fungus.
That was the cordyceps fungus. It infects insects, driving their minds crazy until they die. Then the fungus will grow out of their dead bodies, spreading to other insects. These deformed corpses of insects look very close to the description of the Mygos. The Mygos existed on Earth long before people ever walked the Earth, and there are some biologists who think that fungus are even older than the Earth and that they could have come from space. Could this fungus be a descendant of the Lovecraftian monster, slowly getting stronger, taking over minds one by one until it's able to reclaim the earth and return to its final form. At number 5, we have the night gaunts. These are demonic looking creatures that have featureless faces, dark thick skin, large bat-like wings, and clawed hands. Nightmares of these creatures would torment H.P. Lovecraft when he was a child. I would assume that Lovecraft had a mind for the dark and twisted from an early age, and that's how he was able to come up with so many terrifying beasties. The description of these creatures seems to be very similar to many beings that have been mentioned throughout history, like gargoyles, demonic winged creatures that would come alive only at night, sometimes to snatch away children, or even demons from the Bible, flying out of fiery hell to consume the people of Earth and spread darkness. Maybe all the nightmarish night gaunts that Lovecraft saw when he was a child weren't just in his head, but they were really tormenting him, trying to take him away and corrupt his soul. He had to tell himself that they were just part of his imagination so he could stay sane. Now a few viewers are going to grow up with a fear of gargoyles and then remember this video 15 years from now when they're in therapy. At number 4, we have the Gloon. A trickster and a horror. Gloon originally presented itself to man in the form of the Greek god of wine Dionysus, but it didn't take long for his true form to come out and terrify his victims. Its real form is that of a giant slug with thick skin and a body that is long and grotesque. It is able to manipulate the minds of the people around him either for consumption, worship, or to do its bidding. It's said that Gloon has been locked away in the sunken city of Atlantis but is still able to use its powers to manipulate people. It will force them to walk into the ocean and drown themselves. This is the beast's helpless attempt at trying to get some poor soul to free it from its prison. There have been tales of demons that walk around in the forests of Peru. They will find people who are sleeping, whisper to them in their sleep, and then lead them to water. It's said that the demon will then drown them and then take them to their underwater world. This could be Gloon using its powers to try and free itself. Let's hope it stays locked up. At number 3, we have Nyarlathotep. He is also one of the great cosmic gods of the Lovecraftian universe, but what makes him so much more dangerous than the rest of the ones we have gone over so far is that he is not asleep. The other gods stay in a constant hibernation, but not Nyarlathotep. He has been banished from Earth, but that doesn't mean he won't use his great power to visit the Earth in various ways. It's said that he has 1,000 other forms. He usually comes to Earth in the form of a pharaoh or leader of a cult, someone to gain praise from followers and try to increase his power. So perhaps we have seen him, we just never knew it. Some cults that have popped up throughout history could have been the great god in disguise. The infamous cult leader Jim Jones talked of alien beings and how his followers' souls would be transported into space. Could this have been the work of the Lovecraftian monster all along? At number 2 on our list is Azeroth. This is probably the Lovecraftian monster that I am most afraid of. Azeroth is a cosmic being that sits at the center of the universe and is constantly lulled to sleep by the song of a powerful god. It's Azeroth who created the universe, and if he ever wakes up, it will be he who ends it. His consciousness is life and death. Now, how could anyone ever see something that sits at the center of the universe? Well, if this creature exists, then proof of it would be the Big Bang. The cosmic microwave signals that are picked up throughout the universe could be the murmurs of its sleep. Let's just hope that the being singing to it never loses its tune. And for our number 1 spot, we have Cthulhu. So I had 2 options here. I could have left Cthulhu off the list because everyone knows Cthulhu, or I could have just slapped him at number 1. And I was like, dude, this guy's the poster boy for the whole brand of this genre of horror, and we might have a clip of him caught on camera. He's got the wings, he's got the size, and he's making that horrible booming noise. A video like this is enough to make you go on a conspiracy theory deep dive. Out of all the footage I've shown you so far, I would say that I believe this one is real the most. It just kind of looks like the real thing. Of course, if it is real, you better put a squid on your head and start praying to your new god, because all the other ones are dead.
Starting off this countdown, we have the infamous Bigfoot. This footage of Bigfoot is the one that started this whole Bigfoot craze. If you Google images of Bigfoot, this is surely the one to pop up. So back in 1967, 2 men were creating a short film in Northern California when they ended up capturing footage of Bigfoot. In the footage, we see him walk by a wooded area. Over the years, a number of people have attempted to debunk this footage, but none have been successful. Is it possible for it to be someone in a gorilla suit? Well, at the time this footage came out, the movie Beneath the Planet of the Apes also came out. If you look at the ape costumes used in that movie and compare it to the Bigfoot video, Bigfoot looks more realistic. People claim you can actually see the creature's muscles and such. How could someone make a costume way above its time? It's not possible. Meaning, this could be evidence of a real Bigfoot. Coming in at number 9, we have Provo Canyon Bigfoot. In October of 2012, a group of siblings were hiking in Provo Canyon when they spotted something in the woods and began filming it. Earlier on their hike, they saw some deer and wanted to get a closer look at them, so they headed up in the direction of the deer. That's when they spotted this creature. At first they thought it was a bear, but were horrified when the creature stood up on its two legs. They got frightened and ran out of the area. To this day, they don't know exactly what it is that they saw, but they managed to capture it on tape. Moving on at number 8, we have Allegheny National Forest. In 2007, hunter Rick Jacobs decided to mount a wildlife camera to a tree in Allegheny National Forest, Pennsylvania. The camera worked on a motion sensor and would take photos when triggered. He had hopes of capturing photos of bears, deers, and other wildlife. Little did he know that he was about to capture evidence of Bigfoot. So on September 16th, 2007, upon reviewing the photos on the camera, he discovered a creepy picture of what appears to be Bigfoot. However, skeptics believe that it's an image of a sick bear, but the way that it's hunched over with its back leg extended makes it look like Bigfoot. In our 7th spot, we have Marble Mountain Bigfoot. If you are a Bigfoot enthusiast, then this is another well-known sighting to you. In June of 2001, a group of teens and a leader, part of a youth group called Campus Life, were camping at Marble Mountain. The group ended up finding a weird den made out of twigs and large branches. Then shortly after, the leader, Jim Mills, noticed a weird-looking creature moving nearby. He filmed it for 7 minutes. To this day, this is the longest video footage of an alleged Bigfoot sighting. Experts have analyzed the footage and have agreed that it's not a human, and that the creature is 9 feet tall. When the Bigfoot noticed the group of people watching it, it began jumping up and down, screaming, and then it pushes a tree. It was just probably trying to scare off the onlookers. Making our way down the list at number 6, we have Lake James Bigfoot. Back in late 2019, a man named John Bruner and 3 other men went on a boat late at night scouting an area on Lake James. Apparently that night fishermen had seen something watching them from the shore, so these folks went out to investigate. That's when they started to hear weird noises coming from the cove. They turned off the boat's motor and used their night vision cameras to scope out the area. That's when they saw Bigfoot and got 121 pictures of it. The creature was estimated to be around 7.5 feet tall. At one point they claimed that the creature was just standing, swaying back and forth while watching them. After 5 minutes, the creature walked away. But again, like all photos of Bigfoot, these photos are terribly blurry. All 121 of them. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with webcam Bigfoot. Bigfoot just keeps blowing its cover. Now it seems like he doesn't care if he gets caught. Also, let me say that Washington State is notorious for Bigfoot sightings. There have been tons of sightings over the years, so Bigfoot must have a home somewhere around there. Anyways, this time Bigfoot was caught on the Department of Transportation's webcam. The webcam was located on Sherman Pass on State Route 20. It caught Bigfoot crossing a mountain pass. Then you see it lurking behind some trees by the road. Whatever it is, it looks massive and hairy, just like Bigfoot. We have the Russian Bigfoot. Bigfoot is said to mainly live in Canada and in areas of the US, but this video may prove that Russia is also home to Bigfoots. So this footage was shot back in 2016 and features Bigfoot chasing a car. In this video you can see a black blob appear in the distance, only to then start coming closer and closer to the car filming it. I mean, the creature moves pretty fast since it manages to catch up with the car, which keeps driving away from the creature and then stopping to get more footage of it. At one point in the video, the girls are yelling to close the window and can be heard saying, "He's coming, he's running." Apparently, the creature actually jumped onto the car and broke the glass, but obviously they were not recording when that happened. So yeah. Apparently Bigfoot in Russia are super aggressive. Also, is the plural of Bigfoot Big Feet or Bigfoots? I don't know, big feet. In our third spot, we have the curious children. In January of 2013, 3 Russian children were out playing in the snow when they stumbled upon Bigfoot. This case was actually featured on an episode of National Geographic. So the kids were out following a pair of footprints to the edge of a frozen lake. Along the way, they are laughing and joking around. That's when they see a tall, dark, hairy figure in the distance. When the creature spots them, it turns and runs away super fast. The kids get scared and run away as well. They described to National Geographic that the creature was tall and covered in hair, except it had no hair on its face. The children and their parents all believe that they spotted a real-life Bigfoot. Coming in at number 2, we have the game camera. Another Bigfoot sighting in Washington state. In attempts to catch a supposed Bigfoot that had been lurking around the area, they set up a game camera hidden in a fake rock. They did this as a way to trick Bigfoot. The camera and rock were set up in a man's yard, who claimed he saw Bigfoot lurking there 9 months earlier. Well, they did capture something alright. If you look at the photo, it just kinda looks like a blurry mess, not gonna lie. But they believe that it shows an eye with wrinkles above it, part of a nose bridge, part of another eye, and a forehead. In fact, this image matches the eyewitness drawing of the creature. The photo from the game camera was placed on top of the drawing, and it lined up almost perfectly. Pretty creepy if you ask me. And in our number 1 spot, we have 911 Bigfoot. This next sighting is so creepy. A man calls 911 saying that a tall dark figure is in his yard. In fact, the full actual call is online available to be listened to. So the call occurred in Washington state, aka Bigfoot Central, back in 1996. The man on the phone tells the operator that someone or something is crawling in his yard. He says that his sensor light came on and he saw something run across the yard. When the operator asks him to describe it, he says that it's a good-sized man or something that looks like a man. Then he says that the creature is about 6'8" and is really big. He also tells her that the night before his dog was killed in his yard. Then out of nowhere he starts panicking, telling the operator to send someone immediately. A week later, the sheriff's office got a picture of what seems to be Bigfoot lurking in his neighbor's yard.
Starting off on our number 10 spot, we have the This house that seems to be abandoned and the only one in the area, and it's nighttime with no lights, so the house is obviously dark. The people in the car as they drive by shine a light at this dark abandoned house just to see what they can, I guess. But no one is around, and then the camera goes blank. I'm not exactly sure what happened here, but I would have been out of the cabin as fast as I could possibly go. Like a cabin in the forest and there's yelling. Ugh. In our number 5 spot today we have The Summoning. This video comes from 2001 and shows a group of teenagers who are trying to summon a spirit while, of course, recording it for the camera. They start in a circle all holding hands with their eyes closed, and one of the friends is in the center of the circle. They're trying to get the spirit to contact them through the friend that's in the middle of the circle, but things start to go awry when one of the friends holding hands in the circle collapses. At first, his friends think that he's just playing around with them, but then he starts convulsing and everyone gets extremely freaked out. After he gets up from the floor, he's not only acting scary, but his posture has certainly changed, and everyone else who is there is rightfully extremely scared. The rest of the boys being super frightened by their now possessed friend's scary behavior, and they're trying to figure out what to do. The video, their real friend has luckily come back to them, but he doesn't remember anything that happened. In our number 4 spot today we have Paraguay. This footage comes from Paraguay. It was taken on a camcorder that had some spots filmed over by other family members. The audio and the video ended up getting blended and corrupted and just left us with this footage that looks like it could be straight out of a horror movie. Because it's so messed up, I really don't know what is going on, but I'll show you some of the video so you can see what I mean. I don't know why, but that one kid who looks like they're sitting on top of the roof really freaks me out. In our number 3 spot today, we have the creepy Croatia video. This video comes from Croatia and starts with just 2 young men, one filming and one who's in the shot. Quickly, the one who is filming sees some strange figure watching them. They don't seem freaked out at first and are honestly kind of laughing about it. The figure quickly gets even closer to the guys and they still honestly seem unbothered, even though I am basically screaming at the screen for them to run away. Just the way that this thing walks is enough to freak me right out. When the boys finally begin to run away, the thing continues to follow them and is now standing fully straight up. Part about this disturbing video is the fact that the description says that the 2 men in the video haven't been seen since that day. In our number 2 spot today, we have Meat Sleep. Meat Sleep was a YouTube channel that uploaded extremely creepy videos that people thought were depicting some pretty horrible acts. The videos and their titles would include clues, and people would spend days trying to find all the secret hidden messages in the video. One day, Meat Sleep uploaded a video that was called No More and explained that there would be no more videos and all of the other videos were deleted. Someone made a YouTube channel dedicated to re-uploading their videos, and I wanted to show you guys a clip of one of them because, oh my goodness, they're so scary. Before I show the clip, just a heads up that this one is kind of flashy and almost like strobe light like, so just please proceed with caution on this one because I want you to be safe, okay? Do you guys see what I mean? So strange and so creepy. It turns out that 11 people from different countries were actually behind this channel, but I honestly don't know much more beyond that. In our number 1 spot today, we have the barbershop. This video comes to us from some CCTV footage that was taken from inside of a barbershop. Basically, it starts off completely normally. Someone's getting a haircut, the other employees are chilling, it's a regular day, no worries. That is, until one of the employees sees one of the capes that is laid over the chair move. This is what caused the employees to go back and look at the tape, and that is when they realized all of the things that moved, but that they just didn't see. For this clip, keep an eye on the cape that's blue. If you're like me, you're probably wondering when someone's gonna notice.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Yeah, he noticed, and he had the exact same reaction I would. For this last clip, it's the creepiest one yet in my opinion. I'm not gonna tell you what to look for, I'm just gonna let you enjoy it and find it on your own.
Number 10. Forest robbery. Let's start off with one outside of the realm of the paranormal, but still inside the realm of the terrifying. This biker was going down a trail on a beautiful day when suddenly a man can be seen appearing from the trees and bushes. The man runs up to the biker, revealing that he is armed. 2 more men then join him from the trees and they rob the man, stealing his wallet, bike, car keys, and more. I can't imagine how terrifying this scenario must be when there is clearly no one else close by who can help you, and there is truly nothing you can really do. While the men are robbing him, one even looks directly into the GoPro camera that the biker is wearing on his head, but seems to not realize what it is, leaving after telling the man to walk away with his hands up. Thanks to the GoPro not being stolen, it was handed in as evidence and all 3 men were able to be identified and arrested, though I can imagine the biker probably never goes down that same path. Number 9. Ontario Bigfoot. This one comes from my my home province of Ontario, and the clip has been featured on a few different shows about unidentified creatures and cryptids. This couple was driving down the road and they had a GoPro camera attached to the back of their car, pointing towards the side of the road and trees. They didn't seem to realize at the time that while they were driving, they caught footage of something incredibly mysterious. Watching the footage back, you can see a large dark creature standing at the side of the road. While it does appear to have 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head, its shape is not entirely humanoid, looking more like a large gorilla standing in the bushes. Many people believe that this couple managed to capture video evidence of a Bigfoot in Canada. While some people think that this may be a hoax because of the fact that the creature doesn't appear to move, saying it could just be a mannequin, others fully believe that this is real evidence of Bigfoot. So what do you think? Number 8. Skier falls. To me, this is one of the most terrifying videos on this list. The full video is around 16 minutes long and shows the ordeal of a skier on a mountain. He is with a group and they appear to turn around to head in a different direction. When he moves, however, the soft snow falls away to reveal a crevasse underneath him, and he falls in. Watching the footage is terrifying as you can see the dark depths of the ravine and the struggle that the skier goes through to try and hold on. I truly can't imagine how I would react in that situation. As he moves around, he actually falls lower, looking up towards the light and yelling out to alert his companions to the fact that he is no longer with them. As he tries to climb his way out and prevent himself from falling any deeper, you can finally see one of the other skiers lean their head over the opening of the crack. They're able to drop a rope and assist him in climbing out, and a helicopter picked them up shortly after. Number 7. Police clearing. This video comes from Reddit and is the footage of a Brazilian police officer that they had originally posted on Twitter. The group of officers are clearing through what appears to be an abandoned asylum or other large dilapidated building. As they are walking through, they come across a door that is acting incredibly out of the ordinary. The door is swinging back and forth wildly, hanging off of its hinges as it swings in the empty air. There doesn't appear to be any reasonable explanation for this, and even the police officers in the video are shocked and appear to try and figure out what's going on. There doesn't seem to be any significant wind that would be pushing the door, and definitely not in the way it is going in 2 different directions at the same speed. Also, due to the fact that the area is open, there is seemingly no way that changes in air pressure would be causing the door to move like that. The police officers eventually decide to get the heck out of there, leaving the door behind them with no explanation of what was happening. Number 6. Shark attack. This one is another one to add to the list of situations that I have nightmares about. This one comes from a group of scuba divers who were going spear fishing, and one of them is equipped with a GoPro to film their exploits. They head off in their own different directions, and the diver finally reaches the sea floor, looking around for any fish. The water is incredibly dark and murky, and you really can't see very far ahead of you. So when he looks up, a great white shark suddenly appears as if out of nowhere out of the murky water, heading right towards him. He thinks quickly, sticking out his spear to keep the shark away as it tries to turn back and come at him again. Once the shark is far enough away, the diver resurfaces, seeing that their boat isn't that far. He yells out to his friends in warning, telling them that the shark is nearby and to obviously try and avoid it. I think the scariest part of this video is how the shark appears like a jump scare, giving the diver only a split second to figure out what to do. Number 5. Kitchen poltergeist. This video is one of many that comes from a YouTube channel that is known for their alleged poltergeist that resides inside their home. They often post videos that they have filmed that seem to show evidence of the restless spirit disrupting things within their home. This video in particular was filmed by a GoPro that they put on a turntable high up on a shelf to record the entirety of their kitchen overnight. In the video footage, there are 3 main things that you can see. The first appears to be an oven door opening slowly, followed by the main door opening and then a chair falling backwards and crashing into the floor. There doesn't appear to be anything set up in the footage that would have made it obvious that this was faked. No strings or anyone else that can be seen in the room. While some people believe that videos like this are faked, it's hard to prove, so if you don't think it's real, let me know why down below. Number 4. Bear chase. Most of us know of the infamous faked GoPro bear chase video that seemed to fool a lot of people. A massive bear seeming to chase behind a biker on a trail. Instead of showing you that one and trying to pass it off as real, I am going to show you a genuine bear encounter GoPro video. This one comes from a man and his cousin that were mountain biking down a trail in the woods. He gets a bit far ahead of his cousin, so he stops to allow around to catch up, when all of a sudden he hears a sound beside him and turns to see a bear running down the hill towards him. He reacts so quickly that you really need to stop and pause the video to even see it. He starts cycling down the hill but crashes, turning around and likely expecting to see the bear right on top of him. Instead, it changes direction and starts heading towards his cousin, but it eventually backs off. You can see in the video that this is actually a mother bear with her cub, and that's likely why she acted so aggressively. Fortunately, both the bikers were okay. Number 3. Stucky's ghost. This paranormal interaction is short but incredibly unsettling. It comes from a YouTuber named Nomadic Fanatic who travels across the country in his RV, documenting his journey on camera. He becomes lost at a dead end with a bridge and realizes that he is at a location with a haunted history. Stucky's Bridge, which is located in Mississippi, is apparently home to a ghost. A man named Stucky would stand outside at night and lead lost travelers to his inn, where he would then kill them and toss them over the side of the bridge. Stucky's crimes were discovered, and as punishment they killed him over the side of the very same bridge. They say that if you are standing there and hear a splash in the water, it's Stucky's ghost. Nomadic Fanatic is talking about the graffiti on the bridge when he suddenly hears a loud splash. He immediately reacts, looking around him and trying to see if there was anyone or anything around that could have made the sound, but he's clearly all alone. He decides not to stick around and see what Stucky might have to say, and instead runs off the bridge back to his camper. Smart choice. Number 2. Dog cam. As I mentioned in the last video, one incredibly popular use for GoPro cameras is strapping them to the back of your dog to see their point of view. That's what one couple did when they left their dog alone in the house so they could see what he was getting up to. When they watched back the footage though, they started to believe that their house may be haunted. Throughout the video, you can see the dog being startled despite us not being able to hear or see anything there. There are also strange sounds that can be heard that make it seem like someone else is in the home, even though the only living being inside is the dog. The dog never seems to be able to calm down, constantly wandering around the house and following after things that we can't see. Eventually, the couple returns home and the dog appears to even try and make a run for it out the door before excitedly greeting his parents. Many people believe that animals are able to see ghosts and spirits that we cannot, and this may be evidence of that. Number 1. Plane crash. This one is absolutely terrifying to watch, especially if you are afraid of heights. In this scenario, there were 2 different airplanes that were loaded with skydivers, flying over waiting to get to their drop zone. Skydivers are often equipped with GoPros to record these stunning heights and views, so there are actually multiple angles of what happened. One plane gets too close and crashes into the other, the wing of one plane bursting into flames. As a result, the skydivers are panicked and have to quickly jump out, one being jostled around and getting hung up on the door before he's finally able to jump himself. Thankfully, they were all equipped with parachutes and were able to make their way safely to the ground. One of the planes was destroyed, but the other was able to land at a nearby runway. The idea of being surrounded by flames and having to jump out of a shaking airplane is absolutely terrifying, even if you were already planning on jumping out of it in the first place.